Great. Thank you for your attendance, and I appreciate your time to listen to this talk, which is Effective Java SE 9 through 11 APIs and language features and tools that it should be making your life easier, not harder. I hope so. So my name is Mohamed Taman, and I'm Senior Enterprise Architect at a company called Voyego by Comtrade in Serbia. I'm originally from Egypt and just moved to Serbia since 1 year now, and working there for different companies as a consultancy, but fully employed for these companies. So, and I'm Java champion and groundbreaker ambassador. Java champion because we love Java and we love to champion Java, and this is like recognition by the community. And I'm working in different variety of places for technology, web, AWS specifically for cloud, but for sure Microsoft Azure, Oracle Cloud, IBM, whatever it is, comes to cloud, mobile, big data, blockchain. Recently, I have a very big R&D DevOps. I love DevOps. And worldwide, community-wise, I won Duke Choice Award 2013 until 15, 3 times in a row, and GCP, which is Java Community Process, because I'm GCP member. I write a lot of articles for IBM, MFQ, and Oracle, and I have just authored this book, 2015, and this just recently since JDK, and I'm working a new book. It will come by next December. It's called Secrets of Java Champions. I hope so it will be published on time, because always we have delays. So you can catch me here. This is my LinkedIn. I always update what's going in the technology in our community, questions, and also events. And this is my GitHub account. All the presentations, code, whenever we do even an R&D, like related stuff, GDK, Java SE, Java Embedded, you can find also forks in my GitHub, and also my presentation. This one will be on SlideShare and will be shared with the team. And I'm blogging, and always I'm living on Twitter because it's my best. That's enough. Easier to just Google my name and you will find all of these instead of just taking picture. So now I am not going to deep dive into all the features that we have. I have just picked up some features which is very important, and for me, myself, I'm using this. You could imagine that I'm using Java 11 in production for now for some services on AWS. So AWS support Java 8, but it's as an internal base for their applications. But for us, we can use Dockerization, and we can use whatever GDK we would like to use. So there is some features and capabilities that I had in the daily work, which is I would like to share with you. There is tremendous changes since Java 9, especially till this release and the next release, which is next September, which is Java 13. There is a lot of changes, a lot of removal, a lot of deprecation. So we are going to touch the most effective features, deprecation, removals, tools that should be, if you use it, it will make your life easier, as we have seen. Let's see. Just quick overview about Java. Java before, it's like almost between 4 to 6 years release. And recently we came up with languages that frequently come up to the market and you giving new features, and we are huge delay, especially in the recent era, that we have languages like just maybe each 1 month or 2 months they are released. But for now we are Java since last 24 of May, it has 24 years old language. The main problem with Java is we are trying to maintain the background compatibility. The only platform that you can run your application since Java 1.1 until Java 8 or 9 is Java. So there is no background compatibility. We always deprecate. Deprecate means don't use this feature because we have introduced a new feature, but we never removed. It's not like the other frameworks, like .NET frameworks, the other languages, Python, this stuff, no. But sometimes, recently when we think about it, yes, we have to taking care of the background compatibility for some certain level, but it breaks our innovation, bringing new more releases. This is why it comes to JDK 9 that we would like to modularize. By the way, the modularization concept is already exists since Java 7, but it's postponed many times, 2 releases and more, because it's very huge change to the language. It's not an easy, because it's not just the JDK. We will see this. And then recently, this is the last JDK, Java 6 was the last from Sun Microsystem. Then when Oracle acquired Sun Microsystem, just give Java 7 some API changes and some small features. Then we came up with Java 8, the most used JDK by all the developers worldwide, because Lambda expressions, because a lot of enhancement, and this first introduction to compact profile. How many of you heard about compact profile? There is, if you go to Java doc, you will find that we have something like compact profile 1, 2, 3. They are subset of the language, so you can make use of it. If you are developing embedded systems, just you need I/O and sockets, and just the basic language, you have profile 1, which when you try to extract, it will give you like 60 megabyte as a JDK and GRE. Then compact profile 2, then 3, but there was a problem here. It's a static, means you couldn't use different modules or APIs with this one because it's already predefined. But we need something that we would like to create our application based on. We need modules. We need to change the Java instead of one source.zip file containing all the source code. We need just some module subset. We need just I/O standalone. We need the net standalone, XML standalone module. So my application, if it's just using the basic system.out.println, my application should be with the GRE 1 mega or 2 mega. That's it. Where are the others? I don't need it. So why to bundle it? This is also solve the problem of class pass, because you don't have to have all these classes running in your class pass and JVM maintain all of this. It's memory waste and versioning conflicts. All these problems are solved by JBMS, which is Java Platform Module System. I will give you a snapshot about this. You will find that the releases here changes. So this is a new mechanism of the way we release Java now, and I will tell you about this. So the big change happens since Java 9, because it doesn't matter you migrate to Java 9, 11, 12. The matter is from Java 8 to Java 9 and plus. This is the matter because of the module system. But onward, when you go to Java 10, 11, 12, 13, you have to know about some certain features we already removed, because now we are removing completely, removing tools and APIs and features. So you have to know about this in order to make it easy for you to understand how to migrate your code. And I'm going to give you an overview of all of these. So the big change is Project Jigsaw. Project Jigsaw, just in simple, that we will have new concept of module. Before, the first class citizen is the package. This is the way we package our classes. The package, and we have visibilities and we have this, but public is always public. This is what the big problem that we have in Java. We have some APIs that intended to use internally by the JVM, but most of the tools and application servers using this internal API. This is make us very tight to move forward or enhance even this API, because it's public and we have to use it internally, but everybody else use it. And we also spread this through emails. People stop using our tools inside the JDK because we couldn't move forward. But now there is a rules for this. By bringing the module system, now the module system becomes more first citizen class for Java. So packages becomes like classes. So the module is just bundled together one or more packages in order to organize your code. What this allow us to be, it's allow us to scale down runtime GREs for IoT, microservices, embedded, and cloud, especially because we are in cloud era. We're using microservices, we're using embedded systems, we're using IoT. And we had one goal since 2014. We are going to be one Java developers. There is no Java SE, EE, ME, no. If you're using module system, you can customize your JDK or GRE specific and suited to your application and just deploy it. You don't have to be expert in ME, because in ME, for example, if you just look about the specification, we take a subset of the APIs from Java SE and trying just to tune the memory optimization and resources for the handheld or mobile application or a card or something like. It's the same. So why not to use JDK Direct to organize our application for these uses? Another thing that now it's stronger, really, I can say Java has a true encapsulation and security. Why? Because public is no longer public. If you have a package with all the classes inside it public, but you didn't export it from your module, nobody else outside your module can access it. It's public, but you didn't say that I would like to give it to the outside world. You have to decide either to export your package to the outside world or not. Either it's public, but it's not public anymore. Not the same concept that we have. So the main goals of the project Jigsaw, in order to understand what is a big change, is first, we would like to modularize the JDK itself. In order to use modules, the JDK itself has to be subsetted of modules in order to use it. This is one of the goals. Another one is the source code itself to be modularized. JDK modules, in terms of modules, remove all the redundant tools. If you download JDK 8, you will find a folder inside bin called GRE. Not bin, sorry, under the home of JDK, you will find GRE and bin, and already GRE contains some runtime environments, some tools already exist in bin folders. So why redundancy? Remove all of this. We're trying to remove all the redundancy, modularize, so you have, which is reducing the size, and remove all of these to maintain different structure of the JDK. Just install JDK 11 and JDK 8. Compare just how the folders look like. There is a huge difference between both of them. Also, modularize runtime images within which is we run. For example, you will see that Java applets and GRE is no longer available. So how we can run Java, we will see. And also encapsulate Java internal API using module system. And as I have told you, public is not public anymore. Lastly is Java platform module system. This is for us. Okay, the JDK, it's moduled, but how to make use of it? How I can customize my application to use this? And also for me to design my application as a module, modularity. This is what JBMS, which is Java Platform Module System, brought to us. And we have module pass beside class pass. Okay, what is the tools that I would like to just mention for you? I have written a lot of blogs about this, so I mentioned all the blogs so you can read about it. We can list all the modules inside the current application, so we know which module is used and to make use of it. And also we can use tools like called gtips. Find if you have jar file or class in old fashion and you would like to migrate it to the new one. So I would like just to know which module I have to include, because when you define your application, you have to say like import. You have to require the modules in order your application to run. So I don't know which modules now reside these classes I used before. So you have gdips. It will give you for the jar or classes, it will say for you, yes, you used module.base, java.base, java.xml, java.net, and these contain all the classes that you already use. So when you create the module-info.java, you would just require these modules and your application would run. If you have any internal API used, you can reveal it by this flag. So you can, okay, JDK internals, it will give you, okay, you use this internals and you have to not depend anymore on this. You have to find another APIs in order to your application to run because it's already encapsulated. It's not for your use anymore. There is another tool, JDBScan, which is introduced in JDK 8 already. It's very great if you like to be updated always, because now I told you the deprecated features, you will find a flag for removal. Means we will remove it in the next future. So you have to make sure that all the deprecated tools or APIs, you have already changed it in order to make just your code running on different platform, not just suddenly using Java 13 and you stuck and you have errors. Why? Because it's already was deprecated and now we removed it and we flagged it before. Because in Java 9, we have in documentation, we added another flag, mark it for removal. And then we say, mainly we remove the feature after we declare it's deprecated by 2 versions of Java or 1 version maximum. So we just deprecate or we mark for removal. So you have to just put in your mind that we will remove this feature next release or the release after this. So you have maximum 2 releases to remove exactly the feature, since it marked it as a removal. So this is what we talked about, 6-month release cadence. What is this? This is brought for us innovation and speed. How? Now Java is released every 6 months since Java 9. So you can find in this diagram, for example, we can see the version history, and let's talk about the release cadence and LTS. How many of you know what is LTS? Just don't read long-term support. What's meant by LTS? Yes?
Well, plus minus basically means that this version will stay for quite a long time as a base, so other frameworks can adapt to it. Like Java 10 was not meant for a long time.
This is one reason, but why for a long time? So what will happen? It is still there for a long time. We can use different GDKs like this. It's meant that the committer of this GDK, like Oracle, will always committed to support you with updates and fixes for the bugs, and the GDK support from security perspective, from whatever it is. For big companies which don't frequently change the GDK, they need something like long-term support. And the long-term support stays for 10 years for each GDK. And between each long-term support GDK, you will find 5 releases. So with long-term support. For us, we can use whenever it is. This color means OpenGDK, and this means GDK. OpenGDK always without any kind of release support, and Oracle and other companies like Zool, like Amazon, like any other companies provide long-term support. But if you'd like to use it, you can use it normally in your production. Doesn't matter. But this is just the differences. And you will find 19.3 means March 2019. So the next release is in September, which is Java 13. So I would like just to mention that Java SE 11 is the cleaner for the Java jungle, the most release for Java that removed a lot of APIs and tools from the GDK. When you just download it and compare the size with GDK 9, you'll find the size of the GDK is 164 megabyte, all the GDK. While in Java 9, if it's module system, but it's 365 megabyte size. So a lot of removal. Don't think that we just trying to modularize GDK. We have a lot of source code branches. We have to merge it together because all the tools inside GDK are just subset of repositories. Was very hard to merge all these forests into one jungle, into one stream. It was part of modularization of GDK. This is why it was very, very, very huge project to bring. And also we enhance it. So also we have seen in the market that Oracle licensed Java. So we have to pay, but we are always open source and free. We love this. So I would like just to reveal it because this is the Oracle license for Java become commercially used starting from Java 8 since 2019, this year. Starting no public anymore updates until you pay for the public support, you will get it. But does it mean I couldn't download from Oracle GDK 11 or 12 and use it? No. For your purpose, your personal use or R&D or demo, you can work even in your company, no problem. But when it comes to production, you use the GDK in production, you will pay for this. But how can I pay? We used to use this for free. Is Java still free? Yes, it's free. How? There is alternative companies already produced GDK for free with long-term support. The first one announced this is Amazon. You can use Amazon Korea too. This is links, by the way. It's not just whenever you find this blue text, it means link. So it will be embeddable from the presentation so you can go. We have at the Java Champion, all the community members, we have like prepared the document on Medium. So we just asking, Java is still free? Yes, you can find the history behind the license, how you can get license, what other alternative from JDK, what are the tools, and even everything about this licensing modeling and what's alternative to use and the benefit of each JDK to use. So it's still free, and you can go for here. You'll find every information that you would like to need. It's a free article, by the way, unless Medium says you have to pay for your read per month. Everyone would like to monetize. So and also there is something new in Java. Since Java 11, we're trying to get the feedback of you. You are the amazing developer using Java, and we're trying to incorporate with you. I'm here to listen for you and get your feedback, and you can submit your feedback. But okay, we have new feature, and we don't know. We don't like to sit in our offices and just give you some information. Here is the feature. Then I don't like it. It should be this and this and this. So for the first time, we introduced something called preview language features inside the production language. I think maybe you heard about this, like HTTP module, new module in JDK 9. It was incubator module. So what's incubator module? We will talk about. But the preview feature is first introduced in Java 12. Means that you can use the feature. We said, okay, it's a preview feature. If you would like to use it for production, it's your own risk, but you have to try. And if you like it, you can submit feedback if you have problems, and it happens. And we use this with the new switch statement. I will show you the code now. And we use it for switch expressions and new switch statement. And we get a lot of feedback from people, and we change it, switch to new structure because of the feedback. And we will going to release it in Java 13. This is how you can use it. This is what meant by preview feature, and it's flag for JVM. So if you write switch statement or expression in the new version and you didn't use this flag, the compiler say, hey, what is this statement that you write? It's not part of Java 12. Yes, but I would like to use, okay, switch it to preview flag. So in order to use it inside J shell or using it for the compiler. And you'll find Maven also support this flag. Okay, now let's start with our agenda and the coding for the most of the things that we have to touch and to see what's the features, APIs, and tools, and everything like this. So we are going to see what's new in the language and explore the new language features, which is like statements, like switch expression, like var, anything touch the language, not just string, class, or this like the one. And also we are going to introduce most of the new improved APIs, not all of them, because I have all of the blogs, so you can read about it. And we have to say and give a farewell for APIs that was there for a long time, but it's already deprecated either, like Corba. Nobody use Corba anymore, so it's deprecated. Why to leave it? Why to maintain it? Remove it. It's just cleaning process, vacuum cleaning, to just make that Java is more clean and more productive. So first thing that I told you, no more JRE anymore in JDK. So if you go for Java 11 or 12, it's just JDK. Where is JRE? How it can run Java? If you think about it, JRE is just subset of the compiler and interpreter with some tools to run your Java application. So I have to be redundant. And even when we had before JRE and JDK, inside the JDK, there is another folder for JRE redundancy. We removed all of this. There is no more JRE, just JDK. How to solve this problem, how to run. You have JRE installation packages is gone since Java 11, but it's already there in Java 10. But we have Glink. This is very important tool. This is where we can generate our custom JRE. Glink can be used to link subset of modules with transitive modules, which is the module require another modules. These bundles and create for you JRE. Based on your application size and usage of the modules, you will find finally just the module that you use for your application and the Java interpreter and some tools inside, and you can take it and Dockerize it or use it in even your normal application or whatever it is. So this is how we can create. It's customizable JRE with the tool that we need. So we use Glink. And I have written a like 5 articles about how to use J-Link, how to create your own custom GRE with different features. Let's see also, when it comes to new people working with Java, or for us, we are Java expert. How many of you using Java? I assume all of you, right? Great. We already know Java, but when we learn about new API, we would like to prototype an idea. We would like to touch a new class to see the capabilities, like what we do in JavaScript when we open the console, trying to invoke all the APIs and using the features. Why we don't have some, like Python, we have command line, we can run, we can interact without opening an ID, creating a class, and then public static void main, then just 2 couple sentence of string class to test it, and that's why all of this, why I need an even API, just console application and I would like to use. So we have introduced in Java 9 JShell, which is REPL, read, evaluate, print loop, which is used by all the languages in the stack and the market. So just you can, from the command line, open JShell and you can do whatever you want, creating methods, classes, trying the new APIs, prototype your ideas, and it's very, very, very powerful tool. It's not just this. You can find here article about this, 2 parts, how you can use it for scripting even. Using JShell for scripting on your platform. You don't have to learn bash files, bash scripting. You can use the power of Java and using JShell to do this. So there is a lot of function that you can use. There is no semicolon, there is no classes definitions, everything just when you type, it's evaluated. Just you get the results and then you can use. You don't have to create a class, public static void main, and this old era code. Another one, when we run any Java, hello world, we will love always to say hello world, but this is hello Riga developers world with yellow heart. So this is normal class. In order to run this, we have to compile, then run, right? This is very normal class. But why not to run Java files with Java direct? Why? Why not? This is introduced Java since Java 11, a new JEP called Launch Single File Source Code Program with JEP 330. So you can just Java and your source code and it will run. And if you open the folder it contains, there is no class file created, by the way. So where is the compilations happened? In the memory. This is a fast way to just run your class. The other way, you just trying statement, classes, interaction. But if I would like to run real class with a lot of other classes and there is another classes, this is my tool. Just trying. You just run, you see the result. You don't have to compile and compile of the set of other files and using modules. No, just run it in the memory and you can see the result immediately. It's very great. There is another feature combined with the JEP I will tell you about. It's very, very amazing. For me, it's very productive because I would like to learn more in Bash script or PowerShell script in order to automate a lot of stuff. But now I can use the power of Java to do this, scripting. We brought scripting into Java. So you can use it. So I will give you an example about this. So there is a huge article about this. You can read about it. So now let's see what's the language features we have. What's the changes? What the new keywords that we had in Java? So first we have var. How many of you heard about var? All of you. It's since Java 10 actually. I'm trying to give you also the version here so you know since when it was available. So we use Java. And there is an InfoQ article about this. So it's a jar, just you trying to use the same like other languages, we're using var. It's always trying to infer the type from the right-hand side. So always the right-hand side should have the type in order for var to infer the types. So this article also includes what can you do with var and what you cannot do with var, because there is some limitations. But I couldn't list it all of them. But this is, you can use it with, for example, how this could be inferred while it's substring. If you get the class of this type, you will find it's string already. And here for lists, it will be array list, and you can get stream, and you filter, and you do, it's running normally, but we used var. So it, from the right-hand side, it infer, and you don't have, sometimes it's very hard to write just right-hand side declaration for the just var, and from the right-hand side, I'm going to infer the type. Also, we introduced var for lambda expression. The same concept, but we introduced for lambda. So in lambda, we can use explicit type, or we can use no type, and we can use this. Someone came with a question, is it redundant? So why I have to do this while I can use this and this? But if you have an annotation, if you would like to use this syntax, which we use always, we don't specify mainly strict type, explicit type in order to, so we use this, but sometimes you would like to have annotations in these types. Annotations always need a type. For this reason, we introduced var to get rid of that big declaration of the type explicit, so we can use the annotation normally with a type. Yes, it's type var. So we don't have to. This is why we introduce it for lambda. Another one, which is I told you about, we have a mechanism to run single source file from Java normally without compilation. But if this combined with shebang file notation, which is the bash script, which is, I forget this hash sign and exclamation mark, this is shebang notation. We can run this application normally as we run bash file, not .java, no, nothing. How? Let's see this example. This is just, I would like to list my directories, or I would like to pass for this program a directory pass, and it should list all the content. If not, just list the current directory. It's Java, pure Java. All what I did is just put this line inside Java source code, which is shebang, and I'm using Java source 11 because it's feature of 11, and that's it. How to run this? Normally, put this file in any name. In any name, it doesn't have to be the same name as the class as we used in Java. No, because when you compile at runtime, it's one single source. The compiler don't care about the name of the class because there is no class path to resolve. I'm running just the code. So it doesn't matter the name. So you could end up with the name here is like directory lister, and here I'm going to name it dir list as a file name. It doesn't, without any extension even. I'm going just to make change mode to be executable and run it like this. /the file. It will run and list all the directories. But it's purely Java, yes. So this feature of single source file running brought to us also scripting to Java. So we just one line like this, turn all your application into runnable file from, you can put this file in the environment path, and you can invoke it the same like any exe for your Windows or any bash file in Mac or Unix or Linux. So I found this is very, very, very useful tool for instead of learning a lot of scripting languages, you have the power of Java now. You can do scripting and automation using Java normally. We talked about HTTP. I think that you heard about this, but just the HTTP client and WebSocket API is originally shipped with JDK 8 as an incubator, and the enhancement proposal G110 as a part of incubator. Incubator is the same like preview language, but we use preview for the feature of the language. We use incubator module for the APIs. So since then, we get a lot of feedback, and in Java 10 also, it was also proposed as an incubator, but in Java 11, finally, we release it under the package java.net.http. This is the main interfaces that compose of these packages. So you have the HTTP client, HTTP request, response, and WebSocket. So you can make any calls, async calls using HTTP1, HTTP2, back pressure, all of this very performant API, and without requiring any other external third-party API. It's already included in the GDK. How it works? It's very simple. It's very simple API. We just create a client, HTTP client, and then create a request and combine this. You can call the client send async or sync whenever you would like to have. And then we call join here because I would like to wait. It's until not my application will not exit as a main. No, join the current thread and wait until the response because it's as sync. If it's sync, you don't have to have join. And for there is, yes, for article about all the feature of HTTP, the proxy, security, filtration, everything that you can, setting header, removing headers, everything that you can imagine, you can find in this article. So for WebSocket, you just have to implement the listener for on open, on close, on send, just for the events that you interact with. And finally, you create a WebSocket from HTTP client, and then you execute it. And finally, you wait for the incomes and exchange with the backend for WebSockets. So it's very powerful. It's very lenient API, very lean and very simple to use. Who remember this? This is our lovely old switch statement with taking care of failed through breaking. If you forget this, you know what will happen. We will jump to the next case. But sometimes we need to have many cases for one value. But we're trying to play around. This is the old one, which could be now with the new switch statement. But first, as I have told you before, you have this flag with JShell or the compiler. In order to compiler or JShell recognize the new syntax and says, because it's a preview, I can't let you use it in your production. Then where is a change? You didn't let me know before. No, you used the flag to use this feature. So we can use it. Then we can create this in JShell. So you can find the new notation here. Where is the break is? This is already fail through safe. So whenever you have this new arrow annotation, means you assign the value and return. You don't have to throw the other cases. You don't remove of redundancy break. So this could be run like this. What if I would like? This is also I found it's why I assign variable here. Now switch is an expression too. What does it mean? Switch become expression. It means that we can rewrite it like this. We don't have to assign variable. We can return values. We can assign it to variables. So you can say, for example, integer x equals switch, and the switch on the variable, and whenever it returns, it will get assigned it back. We don't have that. It's called switch expression. This is what we have new for switch expression. And also, do you remember that multiple cases, we have case 1, 2, 3, 4, then one value to run. Then case 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, for example, we have to run something like this. Because we need to cover all these cases just to be, this is 0, this is odd, this is even. It's very redundant, and we can run it like this. It's amazing, right? So it's a why, just comma, and it's very small version, compact, very clean, and it's very productive. And expression, I found that switch as expression is very useful, and I use it even daily in my code. I love it. But we have a change, by the way, because of the people. We didn't use break even now. We just, instead of kind equal even, we say yield, the new version of 13. I'm going to write a blog about this. We just remove this and remove break, and we call yield even, yield odd, yield 0, and that's it. Because people say, you generating an event, you yielding a new value. Why you break? Because you can, in the blog, you can find that different versions of, you can break and then even. Just the way of using break, but return a value, because it's expression. But this says break means, it doesn't mean you generate new value to assign it. So change break to yield. So we will have a new keyword in Java, it's called yield, but in Java 13. Okay, let's have a look about some new language APIs. One of the most changes we have added is the class string. This is the most features that we cover in the Java language we have added and what we are going to add. I think that maybe we can propose also using if statement as expression. Why not? It's already in Kotlin. So you can use like whenever the variable, and based on the if statement, you can have the value returned back to this instead of assignment, as we do with the switch. So for string, since Java 11, we have repeat, and repeat can be used like this. If you would like to repeat single string, we can give the number of time to repeat and just concatenate it with whenever it is, it will be give you the repetition out of the box. We have is blank, and all the way to test the blank of the text, we have to get the text and trim it, and then get the length. Then if it's equal to 0, yes, it's blank. But now we can use is blank. Is blank also is very important, is Unicode aware. What does it mean? I will show you, because we have another version now of new method, which is called stripe. Stripe trailing, it's the same, exactly the same like trim. We just added because we love the name. We like it, the name, it's modern. Sometimes, you know, maybe we can add the same functionality, but the name is more modern for us. I'm kidding. There is a difference. If you using text like this, contain new line, tab, and this is Unicode space, by the way. If you apply trim, trim is not Unicode aware, so you will still have a space. This is why we created stripe. Stripe, just the same like trim, but it's Unicode aware, so it will remove the Unicode spaces. This is why is blank too, using stripe. This is why I told you is blank is Unicode aware. So this is since Java 11. And we have lines. If you have a string contain multiple lines, you call lines on the string, and for each line you can print it. It will be automatically. You don't have to have replace and get the string based on the new line, and you have the array. No, out of the box you have these lines. Another one in Java 11, which is indent. Indent is very simple, as you can hear it. Indent means I would like to indent the text by some spaces. If you give a positive number means indent, negative number means de-indent. So here 5 minus 2 means 3 just spaces. Finally, and I call lines and for each on the same one, and it will be indented like this. So you can do indentation the string without any kind of for loop and these APIs. And we have transform. This is very, very, very powerful one. Sometimes we have a lot of functionality to apply on the same string. We need, for example, let's consider that I would like to remove all the asterisks from this string and transform it to uppercase and split it. So we will get all the operations, but transform apply on the string some other transformation. Sometimes you have a complex string method that you can use whenever it takes. So you can apply many transformations. So something like this text I can transform first just to be uppercase, and then transform to replace all the asterisk with spaces, then just split it and return it back. You can add more, just transform and add, remove whenever it is. So it's very, very, it's like stream mappings function. You use map on streams in order to transform to different shape of the stream. This is how we used in string. So there is also this article, just not string. There is contain a lot of APIs changes, but the most obvious ones is the string. And we have this one. It's very, very lovely for the people working with finance and shortcut of the numbers and this kind of showing stuff. And instead of we doing libraries to shortcut and do like 1K, 1 million, but also taking care of the locale, because 1 million in US, it's 1 billion in Serbia or Europe. It's just different. But so based on the locale, we can shorthand these numbers. So it's just representation, and something in US, for example, 1,000 could be written something like this. So we just get the compact number instance, and then based on this, we say format, it will give you 10K direct or 1 million, whatever the number is. And there is a lot of customization here. You need short version, long version. You can play with this in JShell and you can try out the capability of this API. Another one, since Java is T-ing collector, this is regarding streams. T-ing collector is a way of combining many collectors on the same stream. So if I have list of this and I would like to get the average, in the old way, I have to apply summing, then counting, then divide the result. No, we can do it in one call here using T-ing collector. So for this stream, I can call T-ing collector, applying, there is the first stream, first collector, second collector, and the result become available for us in two normally variables, and we can do our average normally. So this is how we can use T-ing collector inside the new collection API without applying many procedures to just achieve this functionality. Also, we have for files, if you'd like to compare files. If you'd like to compare two files, it's very easy now. Just supply these two file.mismatch, and it will return you -1 if yes, they are mismatched, mean they are different. But if they are matching, the API will return you the location of the first mismatch location it found. So they are start to be similar from this location. So it's very easy to, it's binary. It's used binary, means it could be used with images, files, whenever, any kind of file you can use, because it's internally binary comparison. Security and other improvement, because how many of you working in microservices or containers? Okay, this is very important for us to have this feature. In old days before Java 10, when you use the API for processes to query the current number of process or to use a fork or executor servers, but you would like to know the number of threads or core CPU or memory, when you query from the container, it goes to the host operating system. It gives you while the container, for example, if the host 8 gigabyte and you use the Docker container using 4 gigabyte, it will return you 8 gigabyte. And then you are working with 8 gigabyte, which is finally your application will crash because you're trying to use more memory and CPUs than already assign it to the container. So since Java 10, Java is able to detect containers. And also it can query container instead of the OS. So it's container aware. Very important that also we can attach a remote debugger now to processes inside the container. It wasn't allowed before. But this feature is limited for now for Linux and Docker on Linux. We can tweak the number of processors for the JVM, initial RAM percentage, or all of this when we run Java even inside the container using these JVM flags to control our JVM running inside the Docker, not just the OS as before. Another one, which is regarding the garbage collector, because not all of us, we just run Java, but sometimes we need to tune the garbage collector based on our application, because garbage collector changes. If you understand garbage collector, it dramatically improve your application performance or reduce the application performance. So you have to have the characteristics of the garbage collector. Since Java 9, we have made G1 GC, garbage first garbage collector is the default garbage collector. It's incremental GC, and it has parallel marking features designed for large heaps. So also tunable both time. Both time is very important to run the GC, but it can be run in parallel. But since Java 9, it's only just working on serial, which is performance-wise, it's not that improved. But as JDK committed to improve, in Java 10, we already introduced parallel, so it can run parallel inside the GC, so it can reclaim a lot of memory at the same time, which is improve the number of reclamation. And also in Java 10, we improved it more and more to become 60% faster than before. In Java 11, we said, okay, we would like, Java 12, I'm sorry, we would like, okay, whenever there is, you just mark it as a memory space, it's a free, return it to the operating system. You don't have to wait until you get all the free spaces, compact it, and return. Whenever you finish free, organize the heap. Organize all the information inside. So this is what's be done inside Java 11 through these steps. So there is some also for first time in JDK you have garbage collector from outside Oracle or JDK teams. So we have this Epsilon, it's experimental. We have this ZGC, and finally we have Shannon Hood since Java 11. This is by Red Hat, implemented by Red Hat, and it supports large, very, very large heap with terabytes and low boot time. They're trying to reduce the boot time of the GC, so it's frequently reclaim the memory. This one the same, and this one doesn't do any garbage collection. Yes, it doesn't do any kind of garbage collection. It's there, but almost, if you use it, you will get out of memory. So what does it do? Why? You use it for performance. If you are very strict with a memory limitation, you can run it, and there is no boot time, there is nothing running, it's just garbage collector out there for the JVM, it's running, and just monitoring, that's it. So you run your application, you can monitor your application, so there is no performance trade-offs on your application because of the GC. This is first thing. Second, you monitor your application, how it uses the memory, because if you get raised, this is very important for embedded systems. Very, very important to see the algorithm and how your application work toward the memory. So it's just out there, and it's whenever you exceed the memory, out of memory exception. But it's used for performance tuning and testing your application. Security, we just improved TLS. We added TLS 1.3 in order to be aligned with international security standard. This is why you will hear a lot about deprecation of the certificate, the same like SH1. We deprecated SH1, and instead the default is SH1 265, yes. This is the default, so you will find the certificate need to be expired, need to be renewed, all the HTTPS need to be aligned with TLS3 in terms of certificate exchange between the servers. So we didn't use it yet for datagram, which is low security for sockets, but it's used for all the JDK HTTP normally calls. So now we knew about all the new stuff, but in order to bring new stuff and new things, there is sometimes old things we have to say bye-bye, not for you, for the APIs. So why I should know about this? I told you, because of migration. We migrate. It's first time since Java ever history to remove an APIs and tools from the language. So I have to know because I'm depending on some old APIs and tools. So I have to know about them in order to migrate properly to the new JDKs. So I will first start with the removed methods. So in thread, we removed destroy and stop this one. And in system and runtime, we removed all the finalizers. And in security manager, we remove mostly all there is one refactored one method called setup permission. That's it. And removed all of this. And finally, in JDK 11, file system stream and file output stream finalization also has been deprecated because it has been removed because we deprecated from long time, but we would like, okay, we deprecated and we should remove it. This is why it's removed completely. You'll find compilation error. This method is not exist anymore. And also this class is removed totally, the class itself. When it comes to modules, this is a huge debate. We have removed all of these modules from Java E module. So it was deprecated since Java 9, and then in Java 11 we removed it. So if your code using JAX binding or XML transformation, it will give you an error. It's not available anymore. But we removed this API into Maven. So you can include it into Maven and you can use it normally for JAX web services and binding, XML binding. And Corba is not used anymore, so we removed it, and there is alternative from these APIs. Activation, by the way, and transactions already used in Java EE environment. So it's already provided by the container. So why redundantly we leave it in JDK? We never use it from JDK. This is why we removed it. And these two, we moved it to Maven, so you can include it in your Maven and your application will run normally. And you'll find this related to the articles that I have right. JavaFX is gone. There is no more JavaFX. We didn't like it anymore, so we love to remove. So let's remove the junker. No, I'm joking. Just we remove it and put it in Java 11 as a special JDK that is called OpenFX SDK. So you can use JavaFX in standalone. It's a part. So there is more focus on the development, and also you can use it through Maven. Now you can just include the Maven dependency and you can use it like this, no problem. So it's a separate part. So if you rely on JavaFX in your application, it will give you a problem and there is no JavaFX anymore. No, it's not removed. It's moved to other project as the others. So we can, either you can use that JDK, SDK, or just include this in your Maven and it will be available for you. Removed and deprecated technologies and tools. We have removed policy files because most of the people didn't use the tool and edit the file directly by hand, so we removed it because there is no effort to maintain it. Java Hat, we removed the tool and included as a flag with a compiler. For profiling, it's very limited profile flag, so we removed it and you can use JMap or Visual VM. That's a very powerful tool. For Java Applet, it's removed totally. There is no more applet anymore since Java 11, but it's still supported in Java 8. Java Web Start is removed. And National API is removed. There is no JavaScript support anymore inside the JDK. Why? Because you can use GrailJS with GrailVM or Project Detro Google version 8. Important tools. As we have removed, we have open sourced many tools, very, very interesting. And this is the final thing. We have microbenching API we have introduced. We open sourced it since Java 12. This is microbenching just as performance oriented. We used it inside the JDK to test all the APIs performance in order just to make sure that they are running in fast as much as we can as possible, so you don't have any problem when you use the internal APIs. And just so you can use it in your application, just annotate if you have a class with different algorithms and you would like to choose, do I have to use array list, linked list, which is performant more? You can get a lot of statistics as output and you can decide which algorithms I can use. It's very important for decision making about which algorithm I can use, not the whole system. It's not meant to be used for the whole system. It's for algorithms. This is why we use it. Okay, and there is URLs. We have talked about Visual VM. It's all-in-one Java troubleshooting tool, and you can use it for production and development too, because it's very, very great. And give you a lightweight profiling capabilities designed for post-production. And you can monitor the memories, the CPUs, and everything, how it's going on about your application and resources uses. If you would like to see, okay, now I would like to see how my GVM in the kitchen working, how they are garbage collected, how the boot time, what is the memory structure, what everything, you can use Flight Recorder. It's also open sourced. It was prior JDK 11, it was commercial part of Oracle JDK, and now to remove these differences of the functionalities between OpenJDK and Oracle JDK, it's already provided as open source, and you can use it in your code to make like recording for all the event happens inside the GVM itself. Reaching to this point, I think that you have a very, very great features. So you can be great and awesome developer, and maybe you leave your comments, and you will be like this. Everyone watching you, yeah, I know a lot of stuff now. Thank you, awesome developers. And slide is presentation on SlideShare and code on my GitHub account. Thank you very much for your attendance. I hope you enjoy it as I enjoyed preparing it for you. I'm outside if any questions because we have to run for other speaker.